Do you know that NBC, No Bullshit Christianity, omitted the God word, God delusion from the Pledge of Allegiance? Wonderful! There's hope for America. And of course, crass-psychotic imbecile Anthony Perkins from Family Research Council, Nazi Christian. Man, it's just like Nazi. They were all up in arms. Too bad. Hey, well, it should be said.
Happened to one nation under God? They left it out on purpose, twice.
Under the first Terry.
Greatest golf tournament in the world. Open championship of the United States of America.
Now, obviously, a lot of people asking that question, what were they trying to get at? Was this a publicity stunt? I don't think you...
No, you're a piece of shit. You're believing in imaginary zombies.
Motto. I mean, look, either it was...
God is an imaginary friend.
A refresher course over at
Moron.
on American history and...
Stupid idiots.
Training to what it means to be an American.
To be an American means to you to be a God-fearing Nazi. You know, imposing your garbage and immorality on everybody else. Here's Heinrich. He looked just like you. Nazi officer that killed millions of Jews, a lot of Jews. And here is Eichmann, another God-fearing Christian that believe in zombie Jesus just like you do. So you piece of shit, just remember, you are nothing but a Nazi asshole. Now, I'm going to explain where God comes from and why the psychosis of God to these imbeciles with videos that I did a year back. Here it is, explaining the brain. Here is the organ that when malfunctions, it creates the God psychopathy these imbeciles believe. Hi, got put piece here. Hey, interesting news. We're in the 21st century. There is no God. We're created with right in here with this, our brains. People that believe in God are no different than schizophrenics, and they ought to be committed. They are ruining whole life for all of us, mentally healthy, in other words, atheist people. This is our memories are, and our dreams, and our fears, and everything right in here. We experience that at night when we dream. Amazing, but it's in here. When we die, we cease to exist. Just like a dream. No neurons.
Look at the diseases and the effects of those. For the most part, we're interested in cognitive and behavioral changes, mostly as it relates to a disease of the brain, rather than...
Yeah, like Christianity, and believe in God.
Environment.
For 3.5 billion years. And of course, there is no God. There is no demons. There is no life after death. Those are delusions that the brain creates after we evolve and develop cognition to cope with the finality of our existence. In other words, we're going to die. And the moment we're born, we're going to die. So we have to, this is the only life we have. So you have to get as much knowledge and information, of course fun, as you can. Always feeding the brain with knowledge, with information. This idea of life after death and all that, it was of course developed 5,000 years ago in Egypt. And that's the reason every culture, since cultures were created over 40,000 years ago, began to invent and create God. But they had no idea they were creating all this with the brain. They had no idea, but every culture has to invent God. Because to explain the world, to explain themselves, to explain nature, and to cope with death. We better enjoy this brain and this only life we have. When we die, we're consumed by bacteria, our ancestors. So who cares? We cease to exist. But it's beautiful that we can enjoy our life, and actually in our memories, we can even have fun with our dead friends and pets when we dream at night. we recollect them. Stimulating the brain. You want to see God? Take some peyote manita muscaria. Or let me hit you over the head. It's just stars and gods. But believing in God is always retards the intellect, retards the mind, and stagnates everything. All these thoughts of God, flush them down the toilet. It's not good for you. Join us in the 21st century, and then realize science is of the utmost importance.
Because it occurs with sand grains on a local scale like this, but it also occurs with molecules, which is the process that must have led to the origin of life.
The key of life, emergence, people.
To me, the best example of emergence is consciousness.
And consciousness in our alive brains, evolved mutated primates, has DNA, which compose all life in this planet.
If you think of how the brain works, it's all a collection of about 100 trillion neurons. If you look at a neuron alone, you're not going to understand intelligence or consciousness. So, and when they do MRIs of the brain, they see clusters of neurons firing together, tooth, like that.
And our brains are created God to explain everything.
Together, dance of neurons, you get to consciousness. That's an emergent phenomenon.
Exactly. And to explain consciousness, the psychosis of God develops and is created.
To replicate, single-celled organisms use the mechanism of DNA, the blueprints for building a cell. DNA in the nucleus unravels. Then each strand combines with a new partner, after which the cell splits into, voila, two identical daughter cells, where there was once just a parent cell.
No God needed.
Is the name of the game.
Intelligent designer, nonsense.
Maybe other proto-cells out there competing for the same resources you want. If you learn how to replicate yourself, then you can.
Only the copies are not always perfectly identical.
Right, a mutation.
There might be some slight variation. And variation is good.
Yep.
Very good.
Yep. And these mutations prove evolutionary biology, because we create all the thoughts with the brain. Collective knowledge over the centuries and millennia produces science. Everything is created in the brain. When it malfunctions, you accept metamagical beliefs to be reality. All religions have metamagical beliefs, as well as mental disorders like schizophrenia.
Evolution works with best. And so if you have a lot of variability, not all of those can survive. There's always more individuals than the environment will support.
Produced great varieties of vastly different organisms.
Hey.
About 3.5 billion years ago, life started.
Yep.
Now,
Not 6,000 years
billion
ago.
and a half years passed until an amoeba showed up.
Yep.
Mankind had to acquire an understanding of how the world really works.
Then they start rejecting the God delusion and the psychosis. But these scientists, since everything was run by Christ-psychotic, the whole world, they start being killed and destroyed. But that's the problem with psychosis. It seems to be all over the place. The imbeciles.
So how do we get from elements and compounds to a unit of living matter, something called a cell?
And see what the Christ-psychosis infected people, they are usually very stupid. If you believe in God, you are very, very stupid and very ignorant. Now, if you're educated and you still believe in God, you have a problem with your brain. You suffer from faith psychosis, the psychosis of God belief. But anyway, we're all composed of cells. Every organism on the planet is composed of cells. Just do me a favor, take a microscope, and after you take a shed, or the shed of a dog, or the excreta of a tree, or whatever it is that is excreta, take a little piece of it and put it on the microscope, and then you'll see. And hey, I know truth hurts. No God. God is a malfunction of the brain if you believe in it, and you create that. We created it.
The cell is the fundamental unit of life. It used to be, a long time ago, thought of as just a sack of enzymes. However, really, more recent structural biology work is showing
we learn
really
every day through science
system of
that can only be produced in an atheist, mentally healthy brain that understands it.
Scientists believe that the laws of the universe and raw materials, like elements, have together created life.
And guess what? All those cells, they mirror the universe and galaxies. They all do, as you can see in this illustration, in this little video of the cell. They all mirror that. And it happens all over. Bacteria in a grain of sand or anything on the planet, you know, mirrors the universe, mirrors all the shapes and forms. You think that you're looking into outer space, but you're not. You're looking at certain things. Even our body, a cell in our body. I mean, it reflects the universe. And our brains contain a neuron in a cell. It is mind-boggling because there are more connections in our brains than universe, galaxies in the universe. And this is actually a fact. The problem is that the cryptopsychosis infected imbeciles, they are very ignorant, or the educated who have a problem with the brain, they don't understand that because they don't connect the dots and they don't learn science. They just keep reading one book over and over and over. So this is the problem, the psychosis of God belief. And if you study science, you have a really good brain and connect the dots, then you understand what I'm talking about. But here is the cell. Here are these facts. Remember, facts talk, bullshit walks. And all religious people infected with religious beliefs are full of bullshit. In other words, neurological excreta. You know, because thoughts can be also excreta. You're thinking in a thought that is based on facts and reality. You know, if I drop a glass and I drop it, gravity, and it will break. That's a fact if you're thinking that. But if you start thinking that if I drop it, you know, all of us for some reason it's going to float in the air and it's going to break, or an angel is going to come over and bring it and do this, because gravity is only a theory, then you are producing excreta of your brain. In other words, you have a neurological excreta. In other words, you have shit. You're talking shit. In other words, you don't know your ass from a hole in the ground. And I tell it like it is. I don't go with this little, no. Because the only way that these imbeciles, these cryptopsychotic infected imbeciles and people of faith, infected with this psychosis, that's the only word, that's the only language they understand. If I go with fancy words and all that, they will never understand what I'm talking about.
How is it possible? Uncommon throughout the universe, called emergence. It helps explain how from the dust and debris of space come stars, solar systems, and galaxies.
Exactly.
How from the chaos of raw ingredients like elements and compounds come highly organized structures like planets and suns, and just maybe life itself.
Exactly. There you go.
Emergence is the appearance of something more than you would have expected just by putting individual parts together. Something greater than the sum of the parts does emerge and become something more, we say, interesting.
Yeah. And we understand these concepts with our brains when it is mentally healthy. In other words, as an atheist, we create God with the brain. Our brains are our private universes within that we create thoughts with. And these variations prove evolution. We all mutate. We all evolve. We all get old. See, I made the other clips that you see before is like a couple years ago. You see, I'm suffering from radiation. I'm getting, you know, older and older and older. Eventually I will, you know, bacteria will take over and I will die. But see, what I'm saying here is a fact. If you believe in God, you're a theotar. You're extremely ignorant. You suffer from a psychosis. You know, if you are ignorant and you believe in God, then you have an excuse. But if you are a deist, you have a problem with your brain because you believe in imaginary friends. So anyone that think that I'm wrong, please prove to me that we do not create God and other stupid concepts, just like the schizophrenics and people who suffer from temporal lobe epilepsy are not created in the brain. Prove it to me. Show me. Hey, you know, facts talk, bullshit walks. The problem with the psychosis of God belief is that it's psychopathy. these people are sadomasochistic, pervert, anybody that believes in this resurrecting zombies, like the Crusaders, the Inquisitors, and of course the Christian Nazis.
And
so part of the occult, of course. Exactly. He was a Christian. All Christians believe in all that crap.
Hitler gave a clear signal.
Revelations
was nearing its end.
Yeah.
He married his mistress, Eva Braun.
Yeah. Christian wedding.
Always regarded as symbol. He was the symbol of Germany, and he acted as a symbol.
Exactly, the Messiah.
The symbol can't very well be married.
The Christus.
Because he was obsessed with this apocalyptic idea.
Exactly.
That
he was a Christian.
There would be either a great glorious apotheosis or everything would go down in flames.
Exactly. So, who believes in this rapture and apocalyptic and Jesus coming and destroying people and condemning the Christ killers and saving people in clouds and all that? Christians. That's where they come from. And they invented Satan. You cannot be a Christian without believing in Satan, demons, and crap like that. So they all go hand in hand. It's a psychosis. And this is what created Christian Hitler.
Eva and Hitler retired to the bunker's private suite and committed suicide.
Yeah, Hitler created the own religion of Germany, Nazism.
His death has a sinister occult significance.
It's believed by some people that he chose April 30th deliberately because it coincided with Walpurgis Night, which is believed to be the most important date in Satanism.
Christian demons.
So,
and like a good Christian, like all Christians, they believe in the occult and all the astrology and the stars and the demons and all that. Hey, he chose the day he was going to kill himself, to martyr himself. Occult, Christianity, Christ psychosis. The brain, when it malfunctions, creates the psychosis of power of darkness and all the rest of
giving
bullshit.
himself up to the powers of darkness.
Yeah, Christianity.
Gone. It was as if a spell.
Christianity created Satan and the demons and all that.
1 week later, Nazi Germany unconditionally surrendered. The reign of the swastika was over.
Yeah, Christ psychosis of Nazism was gone. The reign of the swastika. See how stupid these people are? The reign of a swastika is a cross. It's equivalent to a crucifix. It's a symbol of the sun god. Came in ancient Rome, even the Egyptians had it, and also the Chinese have it in Buddhism and in Hinduism, and all that. It is a symbol of the sun god, the crucified Savior, which is a Christus, which would be, you know, all the leaders like Julius Caesar and divine rulers. So, there it is. Christian Hitler chose this cross. And you have him in the plane, just in the black cross, the Maltese cross and all, crosses, symbol of Christianity. So here. And the swastika is simple. A cross is a symbol of the sun god, the rulers, the divine rulers like Julius Caesar. There was a Christus. And here is in Rome, in the Roman Forum. Swastikas are everywhere in the Roman Empire, and it symbolizes a cross, the sun god, a Christus. And in Hinduism, you have it. You have here in pagodas. Look at this swastika right here, and they're all over the place. The Native Americans have swastikas. It's a symbol of the sun. Here is in the Vatican. So Hitler was a Christian. He adopted all that. He developed his own branch of Christianity. Nazism.
When trying to explain why they had followed Hitler into barbarism and murder beyond comprehension, some would say they were overwhelmed by his occult power.
Oh yeah, a Christian, just like the Pope and all these people. Leader, like Joseph Smith of the Mormons. Just like that.
The strength of his
like Martin Luther.
How he sweat people off their feet.
Whom he loved.
If Hitler would walk into my cell and say, do this.
Everybody loved him.
Even now.
He's the Messiah. See, they're burning books.
There is no question.
Burning books.
Lies at the heart of the crime.
Just like the Christians did.
Nazism from all others.
Burn books, man. Doesn't agree with you? Burn books. Kill the Jews, the Christ killers.
The war against the Jews.
Very typical Christian. That's what it was.
It was an obsession inspired by a purely occult view of supermen and subhumans.
Exactly. created by Christianity. Destroy the Indians, destroy the blacks, destroy the unbelievers, destroy the gays, destroy anybody. Marriage, believe in marriage, you know, no marriage for gays.
The principal aim of the Nazi
destroy
regime.
the witches.
Perhaps it's
destroy the sorcerers.
An objective, a goal that dominated Hitler even in his final political testament.
See, when the Christianity took over the Roman Empire in the 4th century, they began burning books, destroying temples, destroying everything, chopping all the pieces out of statues, and all demonic and intellectual stagnation set in. They burned the Library of Alexandria, the center of knowledge. These people wanted stupidity, intellectual stagnation, and crap. So anybody that is a Christian is a psychotic piece of shit ignoramuses. It's an idiot with a head stuck up their ass. Anybody that believes in God is like that. It's a stupid fuck. I mean, I tell it like it is. And you know, they also burned libraries in Rome. In the 5th century, I mean, they destroyed everything. They went all over in a rampage of ignorance. And amazing what they did. And of course, here you have Christian Hitler copying all that. And guess what are the Hitler equivalents in the United States? Hey, you have the Family Research Council, you have the Christian imbecile fundamentalist preachers, those pieces of shit, the ones, the KKK, all the hunters that are conservative and GOP, and then you have Sarah Palin and Bachmann, all these morons. Gingrich is a piece of shit, and the rest are moronic assholes. They are Hitlers. They are Nazis. They are Christ-psychotic imbeciles that believe in resurrecting zombies. This is what gets you. In the place they burn books, they burn men. In the place that have racism, they burn people also. So, there it is, the psychosis of Christianity. The immorality that nobody sees.
For his suicide.
See? Typical Christian for you. Anybody that says that Hitler was not a Christian is an imbecile, is an ignoramus.
To implacably oppose the universal poisoner of all races.
Exactly.
The Jews.
Yeah, the Christ killers.
April 30th, 1945.
Exactly. So the fact of what I say is true speaks for itself. You know, go to a neurologist and get your brain probe and stimulate it, temporal lobes, and then you'll see what happens. You start seeing angels, all that, or even simple as that. Don't go to a neurologist. Just eat some datura flowers, peyote or some chemicals, and you'll see. Or just drink a cup of coffee, 3 cappuccinos, and you'll be like that. It's all in the brain. But religious psychosis is the worst disorder nobody sees. Believing in resurrected zombies. And you see that, and the insanity, you can see it in the Crusaders. People that believe in God and only one God, you know, 1700 years ago, you begin intolerance, racism, pedophilia, you know, and all that, because nobody else, everybody is inferior. And your God is the only true God, and then you start killing people, burning books, destroying everything else, trying to destroy religions. This happened in Christian Europe during the Crusades, 1100s. Hey, you have to just conquer the land and kill all the Christ killer, the Jews and all that, and there's repercussions. And then you have the Americans, the Americas, you know, Columbus, the criminal, Christ-psychotic infected criminal. And you know, there is people that follow Columbus to celebrate the 12th of October, and there's the Knights of Columbus. That should be called the Knights. Why not the Knights of Hitler? The Knights of Jim Jones. The Knights of all these, you know, this psychopath, Christian psychopath that has destroyed the natives. You know, so this is very important. Everybody says Hitler and Hitler. No. What about the Crusades? 200 years slaughtering people because they are not Christian? Invading their lands and conquering them, and then enslaving the natives because they are brown and different colors and they don't believe they're not Christian, and they impose Christianity on them, and slaughtering children and killing all these people because they're inferior, and you do them a favor because they want to go to heaven. Hitler did the same thing. Christian Hitler, well, Christian Europe, and one of the products was, of course, Hitler. And Hitler, because of Christ psychosis and the hate for the Christ killer, the Jews, that every European had hated them, all the Christians. You know, you study the Spain, the history of Spain in Granada and all that. They just started the Inquisition. You know, so people don't see, because they don't know history. A lot of the Christians are very ignorant people. They're very stupid. So this is here. This is a sample, because Christian Hitler, he, you know, decided to form. Germany was divided into, Europe actually was divided into Protestant and Lutherans. Basically, the Protestants and then the Catholic, the Catholics and the Protestants. And that was so through the whole, since the 1500s. And of course, all of them consider Jews the Christ killers. But the only way you can actually control a government and keep people quiet is with religion. And these are believers, these people, these leaders. And of course, Hitler came into power, and Christian Germany divided into Catholics and Protestants. They didn't like each other. One side for the Pope, the other don't believe in the Pope and all that. Salvation is talking to God directly. The Pope, you have to go through a priest, and you have to be a good person and all that to be saved. Protestant, you can be a criminal. And you can say, oh, at the moment you say, oh, I've been a criminal all my life. And the moment you die, oh, Lord, I'm, you know, believing you and all that. And poof, automatically you go to heaven. No problem. And the Catholics didn't go for that. You have to go through a priest to gain salvation. But you still have the same fairy tales of resurrecting zombies. So, Christian Hitler united Germany united the religion. And the only way you can unite people and combine the both religions is by getting another religion that combines both of them. And also combines German paganism that came from the Roman Empire. The swastikas, the crosses, the SS, the symbol, the runic symbols of the Celts, the Celtic tribes, and all the hocus pocus that goes around with paganism of the German imperial Rome. So you have that, then you have Catholicism, and then you have Lutheranism, Protestant Lutheranism, and you have Nazism. Everything combines into one religion. Nazism is exactly the same thing, it's another branch of Christianity, just like Mormonism. Mormonism is combined with the fairy tales of Joseph Smith by eating datura flowers with the Protestant religion, not Catholic, the Protestant religion. So you have these Bibles, and you have this, and then you combine Mormonism, the golden plates and the angels, and all the flying stuff. So there you have the problem here. The delusions of God and schizophrenia are created in malfunctioning brains. So now you understand the problem in the United States. People are stupid, ignorant, thanks to bad education, because all Christ psychotic, all Christians, stupid fuck, and you know, they're like schizophrenics. And then you have all this problem, and the country is controlled by senators and very ignorant people, stupid, ignorant of science. They're all Christians. They're controlled. The Supreme Court is full of Christians, Christ psychotics, and the whole thing goes on. The only healthy one is Obama, and he's like, you have to go along with the fucking lunatics. But everything is created in the brain. So this is the problem that continues in this great country of ours. And we have to remember, faith is always inversely proportional to knowledge and information. The more faith you have, the more ignorant you are. The less faith, when you start feeding your brain with information, the less of the more knowledge. The less faith, the more intelligent you are. And this is exactly what happens. That's the reason all religions keep people ignorant. No science. Keep people as stupid so you can control them. So, hey, that's reality. So, I hope you enjoy this. To your health, abundant health, to you with a healthy brain. Let's crush the Christ psychotic theotards, destroying the United States of America with the fact of slapping in the face the morons, put them in mental institutions that belong. Equate all the Christians in the United States like schizophrenic people that are sick, that need our help. Pace Dios.